Hi, I'm Miranda, and this is Nick.
Oi.
Welcome to episode 22 of the Ranting podcast. And this is our Rants on the Rocks episode where we review different types of media. And I saw that we've got some more subscribers on YouTube. So, hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you for joining us today. Do y'all remember when Lori Loughlin from Full House went to the Big House?
For like a week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't very long. But today we're talking about Operation Varsity Blues, the college admissions scandal. It's another Netflix documentary, and it covers the college admissions scandal that rocked the public in 2019. So, ready to dive in? Yeah.
This one's, I don't know. I have more for the end than I do for the body of it.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't know like a lot of it, honestly. I only heard about it as far as like the Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman of it all.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I don't know
I
them
didn't
too
really
well,
know
but-
anything.
Yeah.
Just like, you'd see the headlines and stuff.
Yeah, that's what
That
I
was
saw.
it,
Yeah. I really liked how they filmed this documentary, though.
I did too,
Because
how they got the actors and did
Yeah.
like all the reenactments
Yep.
and stuff like that.
From all of the not the taps.
No, it was.
Yeah, the wiretaps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wiretaps and everything.
Yep.
Like they had so much.
And they just took that and then they reenacted it with the other actors.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, how is this guy not like, how is he not locked up? Like, how is he doing this?
Right? Like, how
'Cause
is
when
he
was
just
running,
participating?
Well, yeah, like he was running down the road. I was like, why are you so nonchalant about this? Like, this is a big deal. And then I realized, I was like, oh, it's a reenactment. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. But I thought it was really well put together. I
Yes.
liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was.
So the whole documentary revolves around Rick Singer, who was the mastermind behind all of this. And like we said, there was a lot of like the wiretapped phone calls that basically they had so much coverage of like him explaining his process. And he was very like forthcoming about all this information to the people he was involved with. Like he told them very clearly everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And he says that the money that he receives from the parents goes into his foundation as a donation rather than to the school so that the kids don't know about it. And the kids were paying, or the parents were paying like $500,000 to get their kids into schools like Georgetown, Boston Tech, USC, UCLA, Berkeley, Stanford. And then, there's like in the beginning, there's a montage of all these like different phone calls with the parents and stuff. And they're all ranging from them saying like, oh, they just don't perform well in school and they're not going to be able to do this and that. And then another parent saying like, oh my God, she's already like thinks I'm up to no good and all this stuff. And like, and through this whole process, you hear him, how he speaks to these parents, and it becomes very, very clear, like, he's a very good swindler.
Oh, yeah. He's a salesman.
Yeah.
He's a
Top
salesman.
of his game.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
And so, they start on the reenactments and everything, and it becomes clear, like in the very beginning of the documentary, and they say that the conversations in the documentary are all recreations of real wiretapped conversations from transcripts that were released by the government. And so one of the first phone calls that's reenacted, it is Rick Singer explaining to John Wilson that he has a side door into Harvard, but it's going to cost him $1.2 million. And he's like, oh, but if you go through the back door, it's going to be like $45 million. And then if you go to Stanford the same way, they're asking for like $50 million. So he's really playing it up to like, hey,
this is the cheaper route.
Yeah, he's like, you're getting a great deal with me. And I mean, wasn't wrong.
I mean, they paid for it.
Yeah.
Again, this is honest. I just thought about this now, but you fucking get what you pay for in this world. If you continuously go the cheap route, this is the kind of shit you're gonna deal with.
I mean, yeah,
You get what you fucking pay for in this world.
Yeah, the whole thing. That's true. But yeah, and even like through all the conversations and stuff that's on there, like one quote that stuck out to me from Robert Fisher, who's a former federal prosecutor. He says, it truly is amazing sometimes what people will say when they don't know that the feds are listening. So keep that in mind, y'all.
Jesus.
But really,
God, you got to use what is it? Like
code words.
Code words. Yeah, there you go.
No, I don't know. Just don't do this. Anyway,
Yeah, for real though.
So,
Jesus.
all in all, there ended up being like 50 people indicted for this one crime, and some of the parents involved included, like we said, Lori Loughlin, Felicity Huffman, who are actresses, and then also author Jane Buckingham.
Did you see the Shameless guy?
Yeah, he's married to Felicity Huffman.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is, but I just saw him.
Shit, hold on.
I recognize one actor.
God damn it, I just had his name. I was just about to say it, and it just...
Frank Gallagher.
Oh, that's gonna bother me. Anyway, so it comes out that Singer had been helping to get all these kids like certain scores on their SATs, and he's like asking the parents for handwriting samples and signature samples so that they can get it like kind of close and everything. Like it's a whole operation that he had going on.
That you're saying over the phone is
insane.
Insane to me.
It was crazy. And yeah, just very, very nonchalant about all of it.
Very few people checked him too. There was like two in the whole documentary. They were like, "What? Like, stop."
Yeah, we're like, "Hey, stop talking about that." Yeah,
like, yeah.
I mean, yeah. And so between Margie, Patricia, and Akil, who were three people. Well, Margie and Patricia had worked closely with Rick Singer, and then Akil was a test prep expert. He was the black guy that had that was talking about like that aspect of it. So between those three, they essentially explain how Rick Singer came to be. So he had seen the need for a role as an independent college counselor. And so then he did that, and he marketed it towards the parents who felt that their children weren't getting enough attention in school. And he explains like, oh, there's, your kids are at this huge school. There's like 500 other kids. They're not getting the one-on-one attention that these parents believe that their kid deserves, which is where the independent college counselor comes in.
I think he was the only one in Sacramento too.
Yeah, and of course, it seems all exclusive, so everybody's paying him the big bucks, and he's giving their kids the one-on-one attention and like that guarantee into an Ivy League school, and
that guaranteed side door.
Yep, the guaranteed side door. And there's even like previous clients of his that were saying, like he was great and he did this and that for them and all this stuff, but and he dressed like a coach because he believed that he was coaching the kids to get into college. But one thing that everybody really agreed on was that like he was very good at business, but he wasn't very personable.
Yeah, right.
Which is, kind of crazy because he seems he's like very charismatic, just like almost robotic in a way, I guess.
I think it's typical for a salesman.
I mean, just very, knows exactly what to say.
Yeah,
but
knows how to sell, but doesn't know how to like
it's very
people.
Shallow.
Yeah, right.
And so, soon enough, people start realizing like how slimy he really was. And Margie had stated that she was familiar with the presentations that he had been like peddling around and stuff. And she knew that he was consistently making these promises that he wasn't actually able to keep. And then there were students that had begun reporting that he was telling them that he could get them into certain schools for a certain amount of money. And so Margie like started a file on him, and she's like, I'm just going to start keeping track of everything.
Might as well.
And, through that, like it's coming out slowly that he had been lying on his resume for years and everything and just kept getting away with it, really. So just kept doing it. And even there was, the one part that I pointed out as well, how we keep joking about his side door. When he finally explains it to Gordon Kaplan, who was one of the parents that paid for his child, he explains the different doors. So the front door is just
made no sense.
Getting in on your own, going through the whole application process as everybody else does. The back door is making a donation, which is like 10 times as much money as just the front door. And the crazy thing with the back door, though, that I didn't realize was that it actually isn't a guarantee.
No, not at all.
It only gets the student a second look. I didn't know that. I thought that was like a guarantee that they get in.
Nope.
That's crazy.
That's the one of the few things that I knew about like the college, the Ivy League kind of realm is that's not a guarantee at all.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought that was the
crazy.
point.
Yeah.
So that's where Rick's side door comes in. So making a deal through Rick would provide them a guarantee that their student would get into the school, and it wouldn't cost them 10 times as much money like the back door would. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Usually the back door doesn't cost much.
Sometimes it costs more. God, these analogies are just fucking, and it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. The whole side door and back door thing.
He's not wrong. I mean, it makes sense though, because the back door was already established.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but like it's not a guaranteed thing. Like there has to be a better analogy for it, because like the back door is not, you're not guaranteed anything.
But the side.
Oh my God. Now you're just saying sides.
I don't
The analogy is just, that's what I thought when I watched it. I was like, I don't know, the whole door thing just doesn't make sense, because like, and that's when they brought up that the back door, even when you pay, 10, 20 million, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's not even a fucking door.
Like, that's crazy. Could you imagine donating
more
like
of a knock.
a building to a school, and then they're like,
yeah,
so your kid actually didn't even get in.
Yeah.
Thanks for the new gym, though.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Like, what the fuck?
We'll name it after you.
I would be like, I'm going to demolish that thing. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do all that anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's wild.
So anyway, just to like explain a little bit further on the side door, since we're still there. How it had started was that Rick Singer had founded and operated The Key, which was a for-profit college counseling and preparation business. On the other hand, he also established the Key Worldwide Foundation, which was a nonprofit corporation that's exempt from paying federal tax. So his side door operation consisted of the parents making a donation to the foundation, and then he would guarantee that he would be able to get their kid into whatever school they chose. And then the donations would go to the foundation to conceal the obvious fact that they were bribes. And
I feel like if you were to look up the word fraud in the dictionary, it would be that description.
I mean, yeah. Well, he made it said approximately $25 million between 2011 and 2018.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Goddamn.
That's the cost of one gym.
Yeah, apparently. So, they're talking about how John Reeder, who was a former Stanford admissions officer, he starts talking about how, like, basically how easy it was for Rick to do all of this, because nowadays education isn't like, it's not seen for what it is. It's not seen for education. It's a product. It's something that like people want to purchase. It's that exclusivity of getting into these Ivy League colleges. They don't actually care about the education. They just care about the label. And so, even Barbara Kalmus, she had said that like college, again, is just all about the status now, and especially among like the elite institutions.
Yeah.
And I said, well, hasn't it always been? It's just like...
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's farther in the documentary, but one thing they touch on in that aspect is a lot of the times the education is not even any different. And it won't even like get you any more. There's no other, like, there's no perks that really come along with it after college. Like, there's no additional, like, you can get the same education from a different college that costs, fraction of the cost.
I've seen videos on TikTok of like the housing at some of these schools. It's not good.
What do you mean?
Like, it's the housing that some of these students have to live in.
Really?
It's small. It's not good. Like, I think at Harvard, they said that there was, like, mice and rats everywhere. Like,
you would think with all that money, where's all that money going?
to the pockets of the people in charge.
Oh, good.
It never goes back into the foundation or into the school or into the students or wherever. It goes to the fucking stop. It goes to the top and it stays at the top.
And people continue to just feed it.
Yeah.
Just feed the beast.
Yeah.
Well, it's your money.
Well,
It's about to be
that's why I was like, I don't really feel that bad about you guys.
I mean, no.
You had that much money to just blow on this shit, so you're fine. Anyway, to continue, then along with that, Perry Kalmus then says that in some cases, it seems like the parents are the ones that care significantly more about their kid getting into a certain college than the kid themselves. And so, you know, maybe perhaps because they didn't get to go to college or they didn't get to go to that particular one. And so now this is their way of like living vicariously through their child, I guess. They're saying like, see, I did it. Like,
you did
because you got to pay your way in this time. Okay,
but
I don't know.
you still didn't go. But I wonder if that's what's
It's
feeding.
all about the status and the label.
Yeah, I wonder if that's feeding the anxiety of a lot of these kids.
Probably.
Like their parents, like, you got to go to the school, you got to go to the school, you got to go to school. And then they're just so fucking stressed out because that's the only option they see. And if they don't get in, because I think the acceptance rate was like 12% when this came out.
Like it's low.
Yeah. So
it's like ridiculous.
But that's wild.
The whole thing. And so, well, like you had said, you know, that with all these Ivy League schools and their like grand reputations, they're not even based on the academics there. And they say that back in the 80s, U.S. News actually began ranking colleges in the United States. And you guessed it, folks. It wasn't by academics.
Nope.
It was by prestige.
Yeah.
And clearly...
Did you cover the...
Yep. Yeah, and clearly that ranking system went to everyone's head.
That's funny.
And then, yes, I do say I have to quote John Reeder here at this point because he explains that the word prestige is actually French. And what gets lost in the translation, or what people just don't understand, is that it actually means deceit.
That's so funny.
Which is fitting because that's exactly what prestige is in the college community. It's all about the image. It's just an illusion that people are getting this upgraded, luxurious experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Deceit. They just want your money.
Yeah.
Look at the housing. Go see what your kids are living in.
That's crazy.
Probably not that great.
They probably don't care.
No, because they're like, oh, my baby's at Harvard.
Living with rats.
Yeah. Probably like, who cares? The rats are eating her face every night, but she's at Harvard. Wilson.
Goodness.
Give me more champagne.
See, I can get to a certain level of bougie. That's not a bougie level that I have any fucking interest in.
No.
Like, you're just living in a fantasy world at that point.
I don't want to be that disconnected ever.
No, that's too much.
That's way too much.
And just to see what you put your kids through too.
Yeah.
Like the montage they made of all the kids like getting denied.
Well, that was just like everyday kids, you know, trying to get in through the front door.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, like this is what those kids have to compete with, is people with a lot of money that were able to just get in the side door.
I love when the montage, and not to get too far ahead, but I love the montage when it goes from like it was this young female that didn't get in. I don't remember her name, but then it goes over to the rich girl's daughter with the makeup line and everything.
Yep.
Then,
yeah.
But anyways,
I touch on that too. But yeah, that's But yes, anyway, so John Reeder, he goes on to explain that like these colleges themselves are the reason why it's so difficult for these kids to get into these schools, and also why it's so goddamn expensive. They're the ones doing it.
Yeah.
So along with the prestige, these schools are making a point to skew their admissions preferences towards the rich and white, specifically focusing on sports that only a certain group would have access to, such as rowing, sailing, fencing, horseback riding, etc. I don't know about you, but none of that was at my school. No.
Never done any of that.
No. Then there's also like the preferential treatment towards those who were making the large donations, like the millions of dollars, which again isn't even all that preferential because it's not giving them a guarantee to admission. It's just the second look. So you're really just giving them money just to give them money.
Sure,
like
sometimes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, you know, on the flip side, then again, Rick wasn't asking for millions. In comparison to these schools and their back doors, he's only asking for like 300, 400, 500,000.
Yeah.
That's all.
I mean, that's a lot less than what you would be paying.
Yeah. Well, he also sold them a guarantee.
Yeah.
And so like one of, you know, then they show him talking to the reenactment of him talking to Bill McGlashan. And like this is where I said that it's crazy because he wasn't deceiving these parents. Like he was being, as long as the reenactments are legit, he told them straight up exactly what he was going to be doing the whole process. Like
for getting
all
the
of
kids
this
in?
stuff. Yeah. And you know, he's like asking.
When you say I need a fake signature.
Yeah, he's like, oh, just give me a photo of him playing sports and I'll Photoshop his head onto the kicker. Like,
you knew damn
you
well.
knew what was going on.
And you were okay with it.
Yes. You guys all knew what the fuck was happening.
The rich are gonna rich.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, some of these parents are like trying to set up the deal and stuff without their kids knowing. And so they're asking him, like, how are they going to explain things to their kids? And so he's like, oh, just tell them this and tell them that. And like, it's fine. And
what are you teaching your kids?
Yeah,
like you're
I know.
teaching them this is okay.
Well, the thing that got me too is that some of them were like, he's a smart kid. He's going to catch on. I'm like, if he's so smart, then let him go and like do this shit on his own. Like, if you think your kid actually is smart, let them go. Like, you're not, I don't know. I mean, obviously nobody thinks that far ahead.
I think it gets to the
thing,
point when money is no object kind of thing, that money is the only solution.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to.
100%.
That there's like, I have to throw money at this problem, even if there's not a problem, you know, because money fixes everything.
Clearly. But anyway.
Not this.
No. So then enter Augustine. I forgot how to pronounce his last name.
Okay.
Whatever. And he had gotten in touch with Rick through Bill, but Augustine is like, he's got a lot of questions. He's got a lot of questions and concerns and wants to clarify a lot of things. I don't remember if he was a lawyer or not. But at one point, you know, he calls Rick to ask him about like what the deal is with Bill and what they've got working on and everything.
Oh, okay.
And Rick is like, hey, you know, he's got this deal and blah, blah, blah. And then he turns around and tells Bill, he's like, oh, I didn't tell him anything. I told him he needs to talk to you about it. But basically, Bill is like, yo, Augustine's being a fucking blabbermouth. Like, he's going around, he's talking to other people. He's trying to get their, like, trying to see everybody's point of view on what's going on. And he's like, he needs to shut up. And he's like,
that's your first fucking red flag. If you have to be like on the secret squirrel shit.
Yeah. Then what you're doing
I'm
isn't.
fucking done.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done.
Yeah. No.
Because this is going to unravel.
Yup. It does. And so anyway, they're, you know, they go on and they're trying to figure out that whole thing, but they move on anyway. Like, Rick is basically like, oh, it's fine. I'll tell him, like, I'll tell him this and that and I'll get it taken care of and all this stuff and whatever. So then
it's a lot of trust into somebody.
So later on, you know, they bring in John Vandemore, and he was the Stanford sailing coach. And he explains how...
This was a good dude, in my opinion.
Yeah. He explains how after, you know, Rick had approached him and said that he wanted to donate $160,000 to his program, he just wanted to make sure that there was a spot saved for, you know, a student of Rick's choice, essentially. And so then, you know, John's like, hey, great. Like, thanks for donating to the program. We'll do this and da-da-da-da. And so then Rick turns around and goes to this other guy, John Wilson, and is like, oh, I got a spot for one of your girls. Price is $500,000. So they move forward, and that essentially starts how John got involved with Rick. And yeah, so, well, really, he says that it started when Rick had called him up one day explaining that he was a college recruiter. And he was like, oh, yeah, sure, we can like have a meeting and stuff. And he said that at the very first meeting, it became very clear that Rick had strong connections at Stanford because of how easily he got access right to his office.
Yeah.
And he's like, normally there's a whole process of like people having to get like buzzed in and like,
security.
you know,
Basic security
And he's
measures,
like, he just got right in. So obviously
everybody knew him and they let him in.
He had some level of history there, clearly. Anyway, so Rick had asked John if he could help him with this student named Molly Zhao to get her on the sailing team. And he was telling him that her family had like $1 million to donate to the school if he could find a place for her on the team. And John said that he had actually taken it to Stanford and then he was told that it was something that they could do, but that it wouldn't the $1 million wouldn't really make an impact on admissions. Not that he couldn't do it, not that it was illegal, not that it was fraudulent, that it wouldn't make an impact on admissions.
Didn't surprise me one bit.
Yes. So
that's what I thought. When he said $1 million, I was like, that's not very much.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they said.
Yeah. And then, you know, in the end, John, you know, he's like, well, I didn't actually end up like having anything to do with Molly getting into Stanford. Then, you know, but her parents, Rick reached out and said like her parents were very thankful and they wanted to donate another $500,000 to the program. And he's like, cool, to the sailing program. Yeah. Because, and he says multiple times that he hated fundraising. He wasn't a good fundraiser. So he was like, cool, I'm getting money for the program, and he's taking it to Stanford, and he's like, awesome. This is one big chunk of my work that like I don't really have to worry about now. And again, when John, you know, he got the money from Rick, he got it at his campus mailbox. He took it into the athletic director, told her about it, and then the head athletic director comes in, and when John like starts trying to explain it, he goes, oh yeah, I know Rick. And then like just brushes it off and is like, cool, of course fundraising. They all know about it. Yeah. And so, yes, as long as the money was rolling in, everybody was just looking the other way. Whatever. And so, yeah, there was, there's this little part where they kind of break in and introduce Patricia Logan, who had previously worked with him. And, you know, she talks about how like Rick had been this huge workaholic, and he was just building all these businesses, and he had this coaching business, and he was meeting with families, and he was always on the go and meeting with people, family all
over the country.
Yeah. And she's like, he wouldn't even sleep at a hotel. He would sleep on an airplane because he was always traveling. And like she had wanted to date him, had wanted to get close to him, but it became very clear that one, he was never going to step away from his work, and two, he had a lot of secrets. So she was like, I'm just no. And so, you know, that's just another little spiel about him, I guess. That I forgot to fill in earlier.
It's clarifying though. Like it paints a picture of who he is as a person.
Yeah. And so, you know, now they kind of introduce Donna Heinel, who was a senior associate athletic director at USC. And it came out that Rick was paying her like $20,000 a month for them to be working together. And essentially what she did was she became the middleman between the admissions department and the athletic department, so that, you know, she was essentially ensuring that whatever students Rick chose to be admitted through the athletic program made it through all the way through admissions.
She was like the key player.
Yeah, because anytime somebody would like ask a question about it, she was right there just to like gloss it over and everything. And which kind of leads right into that Olivia Jade story that you kind of touched on a little bit. She was the one, she's Lori Loughlin's daughter, the actress from Full House. So they explain what?
She had no business getting into this fucking school.
No, not like, even a little bit.
All the kids that were like devastated because they didn't get into their dream school. And then it cuts from that montage to this fucking chick.
Yeah. So this was how, I think this is really how like a lot of people heard about this coming out. She was like the only I guess, student that I had heard of, you know, being involved in all of this. Like I don't remember any of the other students' names, but I remember hers.
Yeah, that's a good in the documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in real life, when it all came out, she's the only student that, like, the non-parent that I recall hearing about.
Well, I think the documentary too. I didn't.
Yeah, well, they said Molly Zhao, but again, her parents did it, so I don't know. It doesn't say that she was involved.
Right.
Anyway, but for Olivia Jade, she had already had this huge online presence, and on it, she very clearly displayed her disdain for school. And I mean, they even said, like, she was doing great with her social media, that she's getting all these kind of, like, brand deals. She had, like, a line at Sephora and all this stuff. Like,
she wanted to quit school.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, is that she was very vocal about not even wanting to be in high school anymore. So she clearly wasn't planning on going to college. Yeah, she even said, like, oh, my parents want me to go because neither of them went to college. And she, you know, she didn't hide the fact that she didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And so that's why when people were like, how did she get in?
Year, right?
Yeah. So yeah, when people were like, well, then how did she get in then? I think that really just kind of started to highlight things. I don't know.
It makes sense. Yeah.
But anyway, Donna Heinel was the one that presented Olivia Jade's fake rowing athletic profile to USC, or to the USC subcommittee. And then she was conditionally admitted to the school. 2 weeks after that was when Rick Singer informed Olivia's parents, Lori and Massimo, that Olivia had been admitted, but that they would need to keep it under wraps until March. But in the meantime, the guidance counselor at Olivia's high school caught wind of what was going on, and then he got suspicious because Olivia had never been involved in rowing, nor had her sister, who they had worked the same scheme for. And so then that's when it started, you know, like, it comes out then that, well, not then, but it comes out that Olivia, Lori, and Massimo were all conspiring on how to keep the guidance counselor out of it. So they're, you know, she's asking, like, should I list USC? And her dad's, like, calling him a nosy bastard. And, you know, what ends up happening, though, is that the counselor makes, like, a routine call to USC to check on all the applicants.
Yeah.
And he tells them that Olivia had never been involved in crew rowing, and then given her high social media presence, there's no way that she could have been.
Yeah, or in sports at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, so after that, then Massimo goes up to the school and confronts the guidance counselor. And then that's when it gets back to Donna Heinel of what was going on. And she's like, hey, Rick, you need to get your parents under control. We can't have this happening. So... then
it's a bad look.
Exactly. And, you know, that's when, like, I feel so bad for this guy. John Vandemore kind of comes back in, and he's explaining that, like, all of this money that he had received from Rick Singer was directly put back into the sailing program.
Yeah.
And, like, he makes it very clear over and over again that, like, he only ever cared about just getting that money put back into the program so that he didn't have to worry about fundraising. He could just focus on, like, the coaching of it and, you know, doing all that stuff.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah. And he said that he even, you know, again, brought it up to the athletic director, who, when they were in their meeting, wasn't even paying attention to him, just watched basketball on TV. And he said the only time
like
he even brought anything up was when it came to fundraising. And he was like, oh yeah, you're doing a great job with fundraising. That's it. Like,
well, he
good
brought
job.
in what, 600?
Yeah.
Grand,
so he was just like, cool, good job.
Yeah.
Anyway, didn't really care.
Obviously, all they care about is money.
Yeah, obviously. And, you know, then he thinks, like, okay, they accept it. Like, this is fine. Whatever. Okay. And so then, you know, like, Rick Singer would consistently continue to pledge thousands of dollars to the program and, you know, pay it. Then in exchange for a continued relationship with John and Stanford, but specifically the sailing program.
Yep.
And, you know, in all of this as well, then Rick is consistently telling these people that, like, their kids are not going to have a chance of getting into any of these schools without him. Like, he's their only hope.
I mean, that's a salesman.
Yep. So, unfortunately, though, he ended up getting caught. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't even anything that he did that got him caught.
He didn't even
So, what had happened was Rudy Meredith, the soccer coach at Yale, had gotten arrested for a completely separate securities charge. And
It's like there's a theme in this.
Oh, it's almost like fraud is rampant. Crazy. But he decided to trade information because he didn't want to go to prison. So almost immediately he became a cooperating informant for the feds. And then they set up a sting in Boston for Rick to go meet Rudy at a hotel, and then Rudy was going to introduce him to someone from Harvard. That's what the plan was. And so when he gets there, obviously the feds are there, and they're like, "Hey, Rick, come on in." And
you skipped one though, because he snitched on the black guy, and then the black guy snitched on Rick. There was two informants. One guy, the white guy that got arrested for whatever charge it was.
no, that was Rudy Meredith, the black guy.
No, it was the white guy. The white guy got arrested first. And then it was the white guy that got arrested. And then he snitched on the black guy. And then the black guy, because they brought the black guy in, they're like, after they were talking to the white guy that got arrested. And he's like, well, you're part of this now, so either you can cooperate or you can go to fucking prison. And they're like, well, obviously he cooperated.
So what had happened, Rudy is the one that had gotten arrested for the securities charge. So he's the one that flipped. He's like, oh, I don't want to go. So he traded that information. That's when Rick went to the hotel. They pulled him in, showed him the wiretapped evidence.
I know that.
Yeah. Okay. And then that's when they were like,
yeah,
cooperate or not?
Yeah, right.
And then he was like, well, I guess so. I don't really have a choice.
Caught red-handed.
Yeah. And well, they said, in the beginning, he wasn't like super forthcoming. But then after he consulted with his lawyer, that's when Rick agreed to then go back in and basically like set up everybody else that was involved in the scheme with more wiretapped calls.
Yeah, he would have went away for a while.
Yeah. And so that's what he does. He's calling all of these people, telling them the same story, that his foundation is getting audited. And so now he's trying to make sure that, everybody knows what to say if the IRS contacts them. But he's like reiterating everything that they did. And he's like, oh, yeah, so, basically how we got little Randy into the sailing program, even though he's not actually a sailor. And the parents are like, yeah.
That didn't make sense to me. Like, how wasn't that a red flag?
Yeah, I know. That he's just like, yeah, how we did this thing? We just need to make sure that they don't know that this is what we did.
Sounds
very
like he's
detailed.
Wearing wire.
Exactly. I know. I'm like, it's, yeah.
And they're just like, yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like wearing a wire and going into these people's houses. And again, though, as just the way that he's talking about it, how he's reiterating all of these details, unbelievable. So that's when, people start,
and only one or two people flag it, out of what, 50?
Yep. And so John Vandemore had received a phone call from Rick telling him that he wanted to donate more money to the program as long as John kept some spots open. And John was like, yeah, I essentially just yabbed him to death. And which unfortunately for him was enough to do the job.
Yeah.
And it was a huge sting operation. But they said that it almost worked easier than others because it started at the top with Singer and they already had him.
Yep.
So instead of having to try and pick off everybody at the bottom, they got him from the top and just let it fucking waterfall down.
Which made it significantly easier.
Yeah. And where is it? So like we were saying, he got everybody to be super candid on the phone and just go right along with everything that he says. And then there was that one guy, Steven, started with an S, I think. Steven something. He was kind of smart in that. However, if that reenactment was legit, how he was twisting it back around on Rick.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I made a donation because of all this good that you were doing. He's like, whatever you did, you need to take accountability for that. And he's like, I used you for this.
That's how you talk on the phone.
Exactly.
When somebody is talking like that.
Exactly.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man.
He twisted that right back around real quick. That he did a really good job.
He was a white guy, too. That was pretty impressive.
Well,
good for you.
Everybody got caught. But then, and then it shows, Bruce and Davina Isaacson I think that guy was the one that had like been freaking out about it and was like, "Oh my God, what people are gonna know?" And da da da. And like,
this could be front page news.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, they getting all the meat and potatoes. They're gonna know." And it's like, yeah, they're gonna fucking know. What do you mean?
Well, now,
like, none of you guys are.
You're active. You're on camera right now.
Yeah, yeah. Like, little do you know, the one that's cooking up the meat and potatoes is sitting right in front of you.
Mic'd up and fucking camera'd up.
Yep. Oh, boy. God. So, anyway, yeah. They did it to themselves.
Poor rich white people.
Yeah, you guys got it real hard.
They've had it too hard for too long.
Ooh.
Oh,
anyway, so there was, now we're in like February 2019, and these two women show up at John Vandemore's house saying that they're from the IRS and the FBI. And they start asking him about Rick Singer. And, you know, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I was doing all this." And, like, under the assumption that he was making these donations to the school and stuff. And the women are like, "Ooh, actually, you've been accepting bribes and now you're fucked." And so he immediately reaches out to his lawyer. And I forgot I was going to go back and get the lawyer's name. But anyway, then, you know, the lawyer tells John that he's being charged with mail fraud, tax fraud, and wire fraud, with each count carrying a 20-year prison sentence. Each.
Nobody ever fucking gets that.
No, but, well, not rich white men. Anyway, so Stanford, they were already ready to testify against him, as well as Rick.
Which is wild.
Yeah, which is crazy because they were gonna be like,
"You're an accomplice."
I know. That's why I'm like, they really just, this guy got thrown so fucking far under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. So Stanford was ready to testify. Rick was ready to testify, and unfortunately, he didn't have any evidence to prove his side of it. So unfortunately, he ultimately decided to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit racketeering. And then, so that's, you know, around the same time when all of it was blowing up, there were 33 parents that had been charged, including, like we said, actresses Lori Loughlin, Olivia Jade's mom, and Felicity Huffman. I know Felicity Huffman from Desperate Housewives, so I don't know what you would know her from.
Desperate Housewives as well.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Lynette Scavo.
Scavo. That's the person.
She is, yes.
Yeah, that's the person with the hair
and her
face.
husband's shit.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yep, that's why we know her. Anyway. So, those two cases were the ones that really blew up in the media. Definitely for Olivia Jade because of like her, you know, her public persona, social media presence and everything. And so she like started out with her losing brand deals and shit, but like in the end, I think she's fine now.
That's
like,
the kid?
Yeah.
So I looked it up and she moved to Paris.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess she moved overseas and she's like still active on socials and stuff like that. So I think she's doing fine.
Yeah, I'm sure she's okay.
Not in the States anymore. I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was getting a lot of shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, they all were, but I mean.
Yeah. This was what, 2019?
I'm sure people are over it
2019?
now.
2018?
Yeah.
2019?
Yeah, because then the pandemic happened. There was a lot more to talk about.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So then, well, luckily, back to John Vandemore. One thing that I thought was nice that worked out kind of for him was that Judge Zobel, she made a point to, you know, she noticed that it didn't seem like he ever had any real malicious intent. So there was no reason to sentence him to prison. And she said, quote, "Mr. Vandemore is probably the least culpable of all of the defendants in this group of cases," which is true.
He still didn't deserve what the fuck he got.
No, he got a significantly greater punishment
than the rest of them.
Anybody else. And he was the least malicious one out of all of them.
That's the...
Like, he's the only one... Yeah, 100%. He's the only one that wasn't lining his pockets. Like, he was putting the money back into the program for his kids. He did the right thing, and he got the worst punishment. Yeah, 100%. Because... So, okay... Before I get ahead of myself. So he ended up getting 6 months of home confinement, 2 years of probation and had to pay a $10,000 fine. And also now he's a felon. So that's fucking cool.
That affects your entire life now.
Yeah, literally. But then Stanford themselves said that they were still holding over $700,000 in those donations.
770.
Yet they were the ones that were victimized by John Vandemore.
Okay.
So fuck you, Stanford.
That doesn't even fucking make sense.
Yeah. Like, fuck Stanford.
And another crazy part too is that he went to his superiors every time
That's
he got
what I'm
money.
saying is that
and he was
he
like,
got
"Hey, I got
thrown
this," and they're like,
so
"Oh
far.
yeah, we know, Rick.
Yeah.
You're good. You're fine." And then as soon as the tables
Like
turned,
they
they're
were
like, "Oh shit."
already ready for him to be the scapegoat, which fuck that school.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like that's some dirty shit. So then, you know, along with that, some of the other more notable sentences were Lori Loughlin, who was sentenced for 2 months, and her husband Massimo was
on
sentenced for
probation
5
longer
months.
than that.
Yeah. And Felicity Huffman was sentenced to 14 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But still, I mean, like they said, there really wasn't anything that made a difference for those families because they gave them those fines. That was like chump change to them. They spent maybe a couple weeks or something in prison. In prison, it was probably one of those like fancy
country club.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't.
They didn't say how much the rich people paid in fines.
No, they never said. They never said that.
Said
only if they pled guilty and if they served any, or if they were sentenced to any time.
They're weeks in prison. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only person that I saw actually paid a fine was it Johnny? What was his name?
John. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like all of these, all the
people that have the
colleges
most
still
money.
kept the money. There wasn't even any real consequences other than public backlash, except for John Vandemore, who's now a felon.
Yeah, public backlash as far as what?
Like, I mean, people went in on like the celebrities and stuff
the celebrities,
that they
I
were
suppose.
like, your kids are dumb, they don't deserve it.
The
You don't
schools
deserve
got
it.
more.
Blah, blah, blah.
What's it called? More
Backlash,
No, they got more prestige
probably.
just because of this. These rich people are willing to do all this to get their kids in the school.
I don't know.
It probably did wonders for the school.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, you know,
And they got to keep
kept their
the
money.
$700,000, yeah.
They weren't required to pay that back, which is interesting because if
Not surprised.
people were really victimized, then
Not surprised.
I don't know. But in the end, more than half of the people involved pled guilty, and some served some weeks or maybe months in prison. John Vandemore was on house arrest until December 2019. And that's why I said, damn, we got off house arrest right before everybody got put on. That sucks.
Yeah.
And then, of course...
Imagine, though. Imagine you're in his shoes and you're seeing all these people that actually did the crime get out of prison, and you still can't leave your house for like another 4 months. You know, fucking. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why people go fucking
Oh, yeah.
nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of that shit right there.
Yeah.
That's insane. I just thought of that. That just made me immediately angry to just see
Yeah.
those people get out of prison. You're like, well, fuck.
The fury
I'm a
that
felon
would be
and
like
I'm still on house
building
arrest.
up in my body. Like,
That's why people fucking lose their shit.
that's why people go on rampages.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, that's exactly why. Because they're treated like that. That's
Yeah.
fucking horrible.
Yeah. He's the only person I feel bad for. The only one. And, you know, like I said, of course, Stanford claimed that the $770,000 in donations was distributed, whatever that means. And they continued to deny
CEO.
that their athletic director knew of what was going on with Rick Singer.
Distributed through the C-suite.
And because of his cooperation, Rick Singer had been able to remain free for quite some time, but has since pleaded guilty and is awaiting sentencing. And in the end, there's writing on the screen that says Rick's side door into colleges is now
I
closed.
love this part.
The back door remains open at many colleges for those willing to pay.
That's funny. I mean, it's still happening. It happens every day. But the crazy thing, though, is that right before that, the school, Stanford, said that I forget I forget verbatim what they said, but like the amount they pay in like donations has no effect on admission. And then the next scene is that.
Yeah.
Where, like the back
You're
door's
like,
still
oh, it was
open if you're willing to
distributed.
pay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you guys are just so fucking.
That door's still open.
Y'all
It
are
always
so
will
full
be.
of shit. It's a scam. It always will be.
Yeah.
I hope all of these fucking Ivy League colleges just fall into the ground.
There was one thing. Were you covering anything else?
No, that's it. That was the end of it.
There was one thing I found interesting, and that was I forget when it's somewhere within the last couple scenes that you just described, but how Rick is still free because he's still helping with the investigation, so he's still playing informant and stuff like that. Which I just thought of this. I don't know how that would be possible because like now everybody knows he's a snitch, so I don't know how that's gonna work out.
Yeah,
but also that would go back to the beginning. So anybody that did work with him, not only the 30 celebrities, 33 parents, not only 33 parents that were caught up in that little sting operation. It
goes over like 20 years.
I think 24.
Yeah, it's a long
it goes back.
span.
So like if you ever did business with this person and there's a paper trail,
better watch out.
You better stay the fuck off the phone.
If you get a call from Rick Singer, no, you didn't. Hang up.
Who?
Who's this?
New phone.
No,
Who's
I was
this?
just gonna say that.
New phone. Who's this?
You're funny.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that was Operation Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It wasn't bad. I mean, I liked, like we said, I liked the reenactments. It made it feel more like a movie, I guess. It definitely made it gave it more of like an entertaining feel to it. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I think it played out really well since they had all of like the reenactment or the wiretaps and all that.
Yeah, right.
So, I thought it was good.
That's the videography, right? Is that what that's called? One of the things that I noticed is the main difference is like, I don't know, the only real example I can think of is like when you look at like, I don't know, when they go back in time kind of thing. It's like in this situation where they have like the transcripts or whatever, they have like the audio and they reenact it. Sometimes it's through like, it looks like it's through like a grainy camera or it's grayish or it's very clearly like a reenactment, flashback, whatever. This was very much like, this could have been a movie. Yeah. And there were some actors in this.
I thought,
so like this is a movie. So like it looked really good. I like how they filmed this.
I thought it was put together really well. It was definitely entertaining. There is, definitely a couple spots that I was like, what? Like, I was like, what did you just say? But it's good. Definitely is nice to like learn about more of the details of it. Because like I said, I had only read like the headlines. I really didn't know.
Follow the story at all.
Honestly, no, because when it came out, I was like, oh, big surprise. Rich people are paying for their kids to go to college.
Yeah.
Like I thought we knew this, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand why this is a big story.
Yeah.
And again, like right there, it's still happening. It's just not. The thing is, it's like the colleges got mad that there was a middleman making money instead of them making all the money. Yeah. That's really what it is.
Well, they got caught.
It's that now that there's that middleman that's out of there, all of that money just goes back to the colleges. Everybody gets what they fucking want. The parents are still paying. The college still gets the money.
What's funny,
the kids still don't go to school. So.
What's funny is that week, the week that this story broke, somebody contacted the school or contacted one of the administrators or something like that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we want to pay $50 million for my kid to go to Harvard
and
or
they're
something.
Like, this is the worst week to do this. Call us next week.
Probably. Yeah, they're like, wait a few weeks.
Yeah, just wait a few days.
Wait a little bit. The feds are here. They're going to leave in a bit.
Yeah, just wait.
Just call back.
Wait until this person gets out of jail. A couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's fine. He's still employed. He's coming right back. He's on a sabbatical.
The back door's locked right now.
Right. We're trying to just get that side door closed, and we'll pop that back door back open. It's fine. Just a little construction.
This is why I hate people.
Well, this is why I don't deal with Ivy League colleges. So
that's why
I went to a community college.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Me too.
And I still got a degree. So, woo!
Oh, God, you're funny.
I think the moral of the story is...
Don't be shitty?
Well, just... I actually don't have a moral, honestly. Colleges need to get their shit together.
You don't need to
That's
throw
really what
money
it is.
at everything.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah. Money doesn't buy everything. It does, but it also buys you some jail
It's just
time.
they got caught.
Well, a lot of consequences.
What too? Consequences.
Consequences.
I mean, honestly though, like I don't want to say it. The moral of the story is that you can get away with something like this if you're rich. That's the moral. That's unfortunately.
That's unfortunately the moral of the story.
That is the moral of the story, which is crazy because like the good guy in the scenario, the good guy in the scenario got the most time.
He got well, not even he got
the worst punishment.
Yeah, he got the worst consequence out of everybody.
Yeah.
So
and then everybody else just got like a couple weeks in prison, and then they just left. So
well,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't really have any like.
That's the moral.
Damn,
story.
that was a bleak ending. Let me see if I can bring this back. Ooh.
What do you got for next week?
Oh,
okay.
Y'all, I don't know.
You haven't thought about it.
I'm not going to lie. You guys are lucky you got this episode.
Oh, Jesus.
It was real close. It was really, really close to not happening.
What, because of Backstreet Boys?
Yeah. I'm trying to get ready to leave.
Oh, God.
No,
the world can't stop.
No, I actually, because I really did run out of time.
I can pick the next one.
Honestly, though, if anybody has any suggestions for something to watch, feel free to. It's going to be too late, actually. You can't even throw one at me.
No, they still can.
Well, it's just going to be like a week later. But still, if you have any suggestions,
definitely
throw them out there.
Yeah.
I'm always here for it.
That would actually be helpful because there's so many documentaries.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any prompts for this week. Sorry. I dropped the ball.
Okay.
So you can rant about me,
There you
I
go.
guess. There you go.
Be more focused next week after your trip.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah?
It'll be fine. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Appreciate you sticking around if you did. If you like listening to us rant, please find and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. We're under the Ranting Podcast everywhere.
Always.
And then, of course, there's always our website, therantingpodcast.com, that you can check out as well. And then there's also the anonymous submissions on there too. But whatever, we're all over the place. Come find us, come hang out. And as always, keep ranting.
There you go.
And come tell us about it.
I like that.
Okay, bye.
Bye.